Ladies, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim or Cimnanya. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload. And please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I'm saying shout out to every one of you for the support you all shower me here with. I am grateful, and you all are super sweet. So this video, I hope you understand that there are places that you as a black person is not where they do not want you to be there. They do not just want to see you. And I keep telling people, do not go where you are not welcome. Do not go where you are not celebrated, or go out to spend money where you are not wanted. And it boils down to how Europe treat black people, especially when they say that you are also African American. They all are like, too quick to react to a black person and also show their racism. And a lot of people actually shared their encounter, especially in Italy. They said in Italy, they do not want to see a black person. I mean, they treat them so bad. And let's just get into this video so you can see the stories and what people got to say about it. Let's get into it.
Did you see the video where that creator said he was shoved out of an elevator in Italy, but when they all found out he was American, they were like, this is not Italia, this is not Italia. That is very much Italia. That is Italy with its whole chest. I am so anti-Italy that if I was given an all-expenses-paid trip to the Amalfi Coast, Rome, wherever, I'm not going. Like I said in that video, thank you for the Renaissance, thank you for Nutella, Gucci, Prada, the other brands I can't afford. Let me tell you one thing. Give me all that, toss the rest of the country in the ocean. I spent 3 months in Italy in 2013, and then I went back in 2018 for a short while. And let me tell you, even after growing up in the southern United States, I have never experienced the overt disrespect and racism that I experienced in Italy. I'm talking assault. I'm talking people avoiding me in the street. I'm talking people acting like I was there to rob them because I'm asking for directions. Stares of disgust, all-out rudeness, just microaggressions worse than I have experienced in America. I wrote all about this in 2018, so you can go ahead and check out my story on the New York Times. And to this day, people still message me to say that they've experienced the same things and they're happy to find out that they weren't alone. I actually met a couple nice people there, and one of my closest friends I met while I was studying abroad. The rest of that country, though, no. And if you don't believe me, just Google race relations in Italy. Did you see the video where that creator said he was shoved out of an elevator in Italy, but when they all found out he was American, they were like,
I really don't understand why people continue to gas up Italy and Europe as a whole as this ultimate vacation destination. Like, I'm really gonna need y'all to decolonize y'all minds when y'all booking a vacation, bro, because this shit is fucking ridiculous. I went to Italy back in April for an all-paid trip for my job based on performance, and I stayed in a 5-star hotel. All the excursions and everything was paid for. Breakfast and lunch was paid for, and you got some money towards dinner and all this type of shit. I'm telling y'all now, if somebody told me I was banned from Rome for the rest of my fucking life, I really would not give a fucking damn. If you told me that I could never go back to the country of Italy ever again, I really would not give a single fuck. And I really didn't experience too many problems with racism. I got a lot of stares and ugly looks, but, I really don't be giving a fuck about that shit. But I'm telling y'all, bro, like, me and my homeboy went to, like, this 4-star restaurant, bro, and I had ordered fish and some clams, and the only reason that was good because it was fresh and it came from Tuscany. They barely fucking seasoned it, and it was all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want the best Italian food, you might as well just go take your ass to fucking New York City or some other major city here in the U.S. and call it a fucking wrap, because the shit is not that good, bro. The only reason people be gassing up food over in Europe is because a lot of times their ingredients are more fresh than ours here in America, bro. It literally just be the fact that they have fresh ingredients. Their shit is not super processed. That's literally it, bro. Because my homeboy ordered this big ass steak. The shit was big as hell. The shit was like $100 steak. You could literally tell all they did was take that fucking steak, flip it on one side in the pan, flip it on the other, and threw that bitch right back on the plate. This big ass steak, this $100 steak, just bleeding all over the fucking plate like a First 48 scene. The shit was fucking ridiculous. So I'm like, bro, you gotta send that shit back. He like, yeah, bro, like this ain't even like medium rare. This shit damn near like rare as fuck. So he sent it back, have him cook it some more. Then they come back and he like, yo, y'all got steak sauce? Y'all got anything I could put on my steak? He's like, the waiter like, we got olive oil. Who the fuck gonna put olive oil on a steak that's already been cooked in olive oil, bro? What the fuck is... I'm telling y'all, bro, like, the only good meal I had was at that restaurant because I ordered fish. And the only reason I ordered fish was because when I walked in, I seen it said fresh from Tuscany. and it was fresh from Tuscany. Like I seen them literally bringing the shit in as I was like walking into the restaurant. That's the only fucking reason I ordered that, and that was the best meal I had, and it was barely fucking seasoned, dog. I'm fucking telling you, bro. Like, people have got to stop gassing up Italy, bro. It's really not all that. I'm telling you, it stink. It smell like piss and shit. The people fucking are musty as hell. Everybody fucking smokes cigarettes, and the food is fucking garbage, bro. You might as well just take your ass to New York City for a better Italian experience. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say, bro. And I'm telling you, if you're talking about, oh, well, I love the scenery in Europe and this and that, Africa, the Middle East, Asia, South America, other parts of America have way better scenery, bro. So honestly, there is literally no reason, especially for people of color, when you know a majority of the time you're going to get treated like shit in these European countries, it's really no fucking point in spending your money and going, because there are more beautiful places around the world that got better food and services. So I really don't understand why everybody keep gassing this shit up. Like, I will literally never go to Italy again. I really don't give a fuck, bro. Like, you not missing nothing. I keep trying to tell people that every time. Oh, I want to go to Rome. I want to go to Italy. Google it and you good. I'm telling you, it's no different than the fucking pictures, bro. The food is not fucking worth it. It's not worth you spending all that bread. Unless it's paid for, I would say don't even fucking waste your time. There are very few countries in Europe, based on my experience and experience of people that are close to me, that I would say is worth it. And the only couple I can think of is like Amsterdam and Ireland. That's really fucking it, bro. It's really not nothing else that's really worth your time. You know, certain parts, maybe like certain parts of the Netherlands, Switzerland, Greenland, Iceland, those parts are kind of cool too. But besides that, most of Europe is fucking garbage, bro. I mean, you see how London is with their fucking food. Paris smells like piss and shit. The food is kind of okay, but besides that, it's really not worth all your money, bro. Go somewhere else.
This is not Italia. That is very much Italia. That is Italy with its whole chest. I am so anti.
As a person that is from Chicago, a black person from Chicago who went to college in South Dakota and white ass Iowa, I've noticed two things that white people do to avoid accountability in some of these situations. And this last video is an example of one of them. They either hyper individualize a negative racial experience, or they will socialize their losses. So this person had a terrible racial experience in Italy, and folks kept saying, this is not Italy, this is not us, this is not us, right? So in that case, you just individualize the experience so that you could avoid accountability. The second thing is the socializing of losses. I remember when I first noticed it, I went to one of my white friend's grandparents' house, and she kept calling me a well-mannered colored boy. And instead of reprimanding her and apologizing to me, my friends would be like, well, you know, that's how they used to talk back then, right? So they'll socialize their losses, right? Now becomes, that's a failing of society. That's a failing of time, the musings of time, right? That's a failing of everything else but this racist white lady in front of me. And then they'll privatize their wins, socialize their losses and privatize their wins. Those same friends that could easily socialize an L would then turn around whenever we talked about redistribution of wealth and taking care of people of color. It became about how hard their parents had worked. Well, my parents worked their ass off to get this house. Like, my grandfather worked really hard. Now their wins are their wins, but their losses are society's losses. It's a very interesting thing.
When they all found out he was American, they were like, this is not Italia, this is not Italia. That is very much Italia. That is.
First off, as a person of color going to a white country for vacation or education, you're not going to get either in the shits. I don't even know why the fuck you expected it. But I'm finna tell you about Italy and America. After the reign of Mussolini, after World War II, we were making these movies called spaghetti westerns. Spaghetti western is where you hire an Italian to play a Native American because they were that brown. They were called swarthy. Swarthy is not a racial term, but it just vanished. So American whites start killing Italians. It was so bad that we almost went to war with Italy. And that's where we get all of the damn Columbus was this and that, because all of that was to make up for how they treated the Italians, right? Then they started classifying Italians as white. And they immediately turned on the blacks. Why y'all still fooled by this shit? Y'all got Wikipedia.
Did you see the video where that creator said he was shoved out of an elevator in Italy, but when they all found out he was American, they were like,
I'm glad we're talking about this because there's been a lot of misinformation, I feel, when it comes to race relations between black women and non-black men. And it's that there's this like romanticization of interracial dating, like black women just get treated better by white men, and which historically is just a falsity. I be getting violently disgusted with y'all when y'all try to, white people treat us better than black men. White men treat us better than black men. Come, please. But I had to realize for some of y'all, racism isn't a deal breaker. For some of y'all, systemic violent racism is not a deal breaker. You'll look the other way. You'll still clap cheeks with somebody who's voting against your best interests. But that's neither here nor there. Do what you want to do, but please don't misinform the girlies and make them think that non-black men are safer. The women from those communities have proven to us that that is not true.
American, they were like, this is not Italia, this is not Italia. That is very much Italia. That is Italy with its whole chest.
I used to work as a captain in a catering hall. One of the head waiters lost his wife. Italian man. I love this man. The catering hall I used to work at, we were so close-knit. We was like one big happy family. He lived in Staten Island. We were in Brooklyn. When his wife died, we went to the wake, we were the only black people at the wake. I am so glad that I was not the only one that looked like me that went to that wake. Because even with a deceased woman in the room, the sundown town vibes were in full effect. It didn't matter if they were grieving. It didn't matter if we put a smile on our head waiter's face. The fact that we went all the way out to Staten Island to support him. So Italy is one place you probably won't catch me.
Did you see the video where that creator said he was shoved out of an elevator in Italy, but when they all found out he was American, they were like...
No, but did y'all see that video? Did y'all see the video of the black man who's talking about experience on that elevator with that white lady? Now, if you did see the video, tell me if I'm tripping, but y'all didn't, watching that video, y'all didn't feel like bro had some type of privilege being that he was an American citizen, he had that American accent? Because I feel like if this was another black person with a different accent, the interaction would have went completely different. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I got from the video. I really felt like we as black Americans, American citizens, when we go to these white countries, as soon as they treat us different. We all know they don't like black people. We know they don't like black people. But for some reason, when they find out you're an American, they whole attitude, I feel like their whole attitude switches up, you know, because I'm pretty sure that if he had a different accent, they would have been very racist towards him. But for some reason, once they found out he was American, their whole attitudes changed. I don't know. The more I find out about how people operate around us, the more I feel like you guys, you're very. These people are very racist towards black people, but for some reason, when they find out you're an American, it's like, oh, no, we don't do that here. I don't know why, but we as black people, black American citizens, we have some privilege in these countries, and I'm gonna need us to start using it, you know, when we're in these countries, especially when it comes to defense of black people who are citizens of that country. Yeah, we hold some privilege, and we need to start using it.
In Italy, but when they all found out he was American, they were like, this is not Italia, this is not Italia. That is very much Italia.
So this video is really interesting to me because of the fact that, like, when I went to Italy, I had a really, really great time. And let me be clear that I'm not trying to dismiss this creator's experience or say that she's lying or whatever. But it speaks to a larger thing that happens on social media where because a person had a different experience from somebody else, they try to downplay that person's experience. And this goes with people, places, restaurants, different things. Like if somebody's like, oh, like this person was, you know, somebody speaking out about an abuser, and people who come forward were like, well, he was super nice to me. Like this idea that like our world is the only world that we live in, right? Like our world is the main source, and it's not. We are not the main characters of the world as much as we like to think we are. We're the main characters of our world, but we're not the main characters of the world. That's Beyonce. But I'm sorry, I know this is like a really random rant, but I see this so much on social media, and I thought about it because, like, again, personally, my experience in Italy was amazing. I had a really, really good time. And I got lucky, obviously, because I've seen so many other Black creators say the complete opposite. But I just say this to say, like, remember that when you try to speak over somebody's experiences, like when there's in this, again, I'm bringing my experience to prove, to make a point, not to speak over this creator. So just make sure that when you are speaking of your experiences, you're not being dismissive because somebody didn't have the same experience that you did, because everybody is not going to have the same experience. And if somebody had a really bad experience somewhere, you being like, well, I had a great experience, like, is only trying to, like, that doesn't do what you think it does. But yeah, have a good day.
A lot of y'all have experienced racism, but most of y'all haven't experienced level 9 advanced racism. I'm in a club in Italy walking inside of an elevator. As soon as I step inside, this promoter, she was a woman, puts her full palm on my chest and stiff arms my black ass outside that elevator. And I'm a pretty big guy. You know how much force she had to put in that bitch to throw me out of the elevator? I'm looking inside the elevator and she has the biggest customer service ass smile I've ever seen in my life. Like she was doing my ass a favor. A thing that a lot of people don't realize is that Africans in most European countries are treated like shit. But the thing that she didn't realize was, although I am African, I'm also American. So I did what any American would do and I put my foot on the elevator, opened that bitch up, and walk right in front of her. Everyone then begins to look up at me like, this monkey's bigger than I thought. She immediately begins to look down, continuing her customer service smile, and I begin to cuss her out. And I'm talking really cuss her out, like saying shit I ain't never said before. Like, do you know where I'm from? Did you put your hands on me? As soon as they heard that accent, that American accent, shit flips. Her coworker loses his shit. Hey, what floor did you want to go to? I said, hey, shut up your mouth. I'm not speaking to you right now. Push 3. And all of a sudden, this random man steps from the crowd and says, that is not us. That is not Italia. Everybody started talking about, that's not Italia. That's not Italia. That's not Italia. Ooh, that shit had me hyped. I felt like Rosa Parks in that bitch.
So this is all I got from this video. You know what? When they talked about the man, his experience in Europe, I decided to look for this man's video, and I was able to. I found it, and yeah. Number one is that people are going to do something horrible to you, and then turn around to say this is not us. It is not them. You are seeing the other side of them. And this is not the first time I am hearing stories about Italy and how they treat Black people, especially when they find out you are America, you are a Black American or something. And they are always like on the loose and the rest of it. So many experiences. And number one is that, let me tell us something. There are so many places to go in this world. I mean, there are so many places. There are so many islands or places in Africa to visit. If Italy do not want you, please spend your money where you are wanted. I mean, there are so many beautiful places that would be very glad to welcome you and see you in their country. Instead of people, I mean, being ready to resist to you. I mean, how do you use your money to buy something that will kill you? I don't know if you understand what I am saying. So like I keep saying, do not spend money where people will treat you poorly. Spend money where you are wanted, where people will treat you kindly, people will be nice to you, and not see that you are a Black person. Because I don't know why, I mean, what they saw in Black people that made them each time they see Black people, they flip. Like the other man said that even if they went for a funeral, and you can still smell the red to the cyst all over the funeral home. And he is grateful that he was not the only one saying that. I mean, there were other Black people too. But it is very horrible how people think they can just treat people poorly because you are just Black or because of your skin color. It really doesn't make any sense. But that is all I got to say. See you all in my next video. Peace out. Bye for now.